Right, Panthers, listen up.
Ari Benjamin Meyers, the composer of Symphony X, it's going to be performed on Saturday, which is the closing show of Springdance 2012. And I can imagine that working together with somebody else, like Tino, a choreographer, you sort of have to give your performance away to somebody else, like giving your baby away to another mother. Does it feel like that?
Not really. Not actually. It feels much more like that when if I write music for a choreographer to dance to, or if I write music for, then it feels a little bit that way. Although as a composer, you're always giving your children away. I mean, you're always. It's a very lonely thing, and and then at some point it's gone. In this case, actually, I have to say it's different from that, because this is really a kind of. Well, first of all, it's a kind of collaboration. I mean, it's not so much, he's not adding something to it, we're making something together with the group. So also it's not like it's being added to or danced to. It's a way, sort of a way we're trying to approach the concert, to try to make a new kind of concert experience, or a new kind of concert format, which is something I've been interested in a long time, and I've tried in a lot of different ways. So in that sense, it feels very natural to work with Tino, who I've also known for 12 years or something, to try with him to present this piece in a different way. So I know what you mean, and I've had that feeling before, but not in this case, because I know Tino so well, and we think alike about so many things, and it's really a group attempt also with the musicians to try to create a different situation for how the audience experiences the piece.
Right. From what I understand, his work revolves a lot about intimacy between a performer and between audience members, this kind of direct intimacy, and he also doesn't seem to allow any reproduction or capturing of the work by film or video. Is it the same for you?
Sort of. I mean, not exactly the same. I mean, of course, as a musician, I have a bit of a different connection to reproduction. You sort of have to, I think, again, this is something that I'm thinking a lot about, that we're thinking a lot about. It's something that I think needs to be thought a lot about. I don't think it needs to be an automatic thing that, for instance, every piece of music needs to be recorded or should be recorded. Or, I mean, I do think there's a lot of room there. And, I do more and more feel like a lot of the work I do, for instance, doesn't need to be recorded, and shouldn't be recorded in the sense that it needs to be experienced live, And so I understand that this instinct of Tino's not to have documentation of the work. In a musical context, it's a very big subject. It's a very big theme.
Right.
Something that sort of working.
And internet
on.
Is sort of destroying
internet,
all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's destroying. Maybe it's also. I mean, it depends how you look at it. It's either helping or destroying. But I think it's more of a general thing about a kind of, again, especially as it applies to music, a kind of confusion even between, I think we've lost the perspective to understand that a recording is really like a photograph.
Right.
I think in every other medium, people understand instinctively when I take a photograph of a work of art, let's say, a photograph of a painting, everyone understands instinctively that's not the work, that's a photograph. With music, somewhere along the line we really lost this, because now people really believe that the CD or whatever is the they say, oh, this is but it's also just a reproduction. It's also just a photograph. So it's a big issue, and certainly I mean, it's, for me, again, like Tino, someone I've known a long time. These are all things that we've talked a lot about, and it's definitely something I think about. whether we document this performance or not, we'll,
Right.
we'll,
Well,
we'll keep a secret.
right.
But,
It makes it hard to sort of prepare for an interview like this because it's so very difficult to kind of imagine what is going on. Can
exactly.
you shed some light on what you're trying to accomplish with this work?
Although I think before I answer, just to say, I think you really put it very well. I mean, you use the word imagination, and I think that's really what it's about. I think it's exactly the point. Like you said, it's hard to prepare for the interview because there isn't that much to look at or listen to from Tino or myself. So I had to imagine, and I think that's exactly right. Like, I think it would be, in general, good to use more imagination, more fantasy. What could it be like? What might it be like? What do I, than to be able to instantly see everything. So just to say that's exactly.
I'm on the right track.
You're on the right track.
Okay.
Then, what was the other part of it?
Well, I mean, what
I got caught up in the.
Yeah.
I got excited to
No,
use the word.
but what can people imagine
fantasy.
to see on stage, to experience?
Well,
To sort of incite people to go and see it.
Well, I think one thing to incite them to go see it is a bit of mystery, so I don't want to give away too much. But I can say, because I think it's already been written about, that the starting point, let's say, is that we're all in the same space. So the musicians and the audience occupy the same space. So right away, it'll be from the first moment, I think, a completely different concert experience, because it's not that it's not that not even more intimate. I mean, yes, in a way more intimate. Although more intimate could also be, I'm playing here and you're the audience here. We're very intimate. It goes beyond that. It's not just. It's really questioning a bit audience. If we're all on one level, all in one, sharing the same space, then of course, you could say, well, the musicians are the performers and the rest of the audience, but the fact that we're occupying the same really starts to break down this whole thing between performers here, audience there, because there are, let's say, jazz clubs where they say intimate, but it's still a concert, and I think what a big thing when you say what can an audience expect is trying a new, just a new way to approach the idea of a concert. And the format and all of the elements that we sort of think of as a given, that the concert starts this way and the lights go down and then it ends.
Right.
And then you
All the
clap.
conventions.
All of the conventions. I don't know if we'll completely overthrow every convention. That's maybe too big of a job even for this one project, even for Tino. But working with the conventions, and I think that's what an audience could really expect. I mean, it's a very intense piece. That's why it's very exciting for me to be presenting it not at let's say, a new music festival, but a dance festival. Because even though we're not working with dancers per se, I can say that the piece is so intense and so physical that really I, as the conductor, and the musicians, we are moving a lot. Sweating.
There's a lot of sweating going on.
If that turns people on, they should come if they like sweat. The ideal performance, and I think we're going to, I hope and I think we're going to achieve that, would be at the end of it, musicians sweaty, audience sweaty, everyone sweaty.
Everyone's sweaty. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Right, Panzers, listen up.